Assalamu alaikum guys. Let me tell y'all a story time before I start this video. Only because I'm still in a state of shock from what happened and I have not gotten over it. Imagine this, right? Imagine this. I'm going on my daily skinny gal walk. I'm walking and right next to my center there's a park, and in the park there's not too many people. I go in the park, there's a little bench and I sit down and I'm just like, a little bit on my phone. I wanted to find something. Tell me why I hear somebody come to sit next to me. Mind you, the park was very much free. There's not many people, there's a lot of benches, go piss off somewhere there. But no, somebody decides to sit next to me. Guys, wallahi, by Allah, I turn around, the guy's wearing a clown mask. It's not even the worst part. And it's like 5 degrees where I live right now. He's wearing a t-shirt, everyone else is wearing coats. Like, what is this? And then he's got like a bunch of scars on his body. And he's got no bag, nothing. He just decides to sit next to me. And guys, the second I saw that, I think I stood up faster than you blink. The second I saw him, guys, I swear, the second I saw him, I stood up. I didn't think a second time about it, which is crazy. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me the ability to use my flight, fight or freeze. Like, I just, ran. I stood up, I looked at him to make sure I was seeing that correctly, and I dashed to the center. I was like, I need to go to civilization, mate. And he started saying something in a high-pitched voice. I don't know what he was saying, guys. I just ran. I started to shake. There was a man in front of me, by the way. I think he was dealing or something, and he probably thought I was about to catch him, like I'm an undercover fed. Absolutely not. Little did he know I was running from a clown. I'm officially never leaving my house after 1 p.m. Anyway, I'm so sorry, guys. I just had to communicate that with somebody, like kind of trauma dump, because that was unbelievably scary. Today's video is basically going to be the ruling on niqab in the 4 main madhahibs. So there's Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i and Hanbali. This was a very long awaited video by a lot of you guys, and I wanted to communicate and give evidences between the 4 so you guys can understand the differing opinions. Okay, let's give like an introduction of the 4 madhahib. So the Hanafi madhab, it originated from the teaching of Imam Abu Hanifa in the 8th century. Maliki school of thought, or madhab, for those who don't know, madhab means school of thought. It originated from the teachings of Imam Malik ibn Anas in the 8th century. The Shafi'i school of thought originated from Imam Shafi'i in the 9th century. And the Hanbali school of thought originated from the teachings of Ahmed ibn Hanbal in the 9th century. Hanafis, they don't believe that the face or hands are part of the aura because of the hadith where Aisha radiallahu anha reported that Asma, who was the daughter of Abu Bakr, she came to the Prophet wearing thin clothing. And the Prophet approached her and said, "Oh Asma, when the girl reaches puberty, it is not proper that anything of her should be exposed except this and this." She pointed to his face and hands. This is one evidence of the niqab not being obligatory for them. They believe that the proper hijab is the jilbab and also the khimar. This is what I really found interesting about the Hanafi madhab that differs from the Hanbali. They say they permit any coloured jilbab, and I want you guys to keep like a log on this in your minds, because when we go to the Hanbali one, they actually differ in this. Let's dive in deep about the niqab. So I said that they don't believe face and hands are aura. However, in times of fitna, it does become wajib, it becomes obligatory. An evidence that they use for this is Ibn Abidin Shami wrote, "A young woman will be prevented from exposing her face, not because it's part of the aura, but is due to the fear of temptation." So meaning that when there's a fitna, the woman should cover her face not because of the aura, but because of the fear of temptation that comes with it. Maliki madhab now. So the general consensus on the niqab is that it's mustahab, meaning it's recommended. You reap rewards if you wear it. It's basically a sunnah. However, if the woman is living in a time of fitna, it's obligatory upon her to wear it. It becomes wajib. There's this misconception that the Malikis think that the niqab is makruh, and I just wanted to clear this up. They don't believe covering your face is makruh. They believe the niqab is makruh. And the reason for this is because in the sunnah there are 2 narrations regarding the veiling of the face. And it goes from the top of the head down like a veil. So it's not like a niqab one that you just like, how do I say? Not like something that you attach, if you understand what I'm saying. So they don't believe that covering your face is makruh. More the term niqab is, because the narrations, they describe a veiling. something that goes up from the top and goes down. Not that the covering your face is makruh, but the way you do it, if you get what I'm saying. The Shafi'i madhahib, according to a fatwa by a Shafi'i scholar, he says that the niqab is not wajib. The face and hands are not awrah. And it is in fact a sunnah. Some will cite to the source, some of our madhab. So essentially the general consensus is that the permissibility of a woman to go out barefaced, but the men must lower their gaze. In another book, Al-Haytham related back to this ruling and also added, her need to cover her face stems only from her fear that someone's gaze may lead to a fitna, even if we see that it is not obligatory for her to cover her face. Meaning that the niqab becomes wajib again when there is a fitna around and there's this fear of fitna. Although it's not part of the awrah, it becomes wajib if she senses there's fitna around. Iyad al-Maliki's consensus was a bit different. He said it is not obligatory for her to cover her face whilst walking down the street, but it is a sunnah, and that it is obligatory for the men to lower their gaze. However, the general consensus is that it's a sunnah unless there's a fitna around, it becomes wajib for the woman to cover her face. So here we go to the Hanbali now. This is what I wanted to get to, which I found so interesting. The Hanbalis, they don't believe bright colours are permissible, whereas the Hanafis differ from this. Hanafis permit any sort of colours, whereas the Hanbalis are strict on this. They don't believe that wearing bright colours is permissible because they attract attention and then it causes fitna. And the evidence for this is that the female companions were known to wear black and dark colours. There's a narration where the Prophet was given some clothes, including a black garment, in which he asked his audience, to whom shall we give this garment to? Then he had instructed for somebody to fetch him Khalid, who was a young girl at that time, and he gave it to her to wear. And it was a dark garment. Now, in relation to the niqab, for the Hanbalis, it's wajib to wear it. And this is the general consensus. If you guys would like to know more about as to why, there are scholars such as Sheikh Uthaymeen and Ibn Baz who talk about these things. What's very interesting as well is that in this madhab, there is a difference in opinion as to what the niqab actually is. So for example, Ibn Abbas, he took the opinion that it's better if she covers both her eyes, but if needed, in necessity, she can uncover one. However, the majority of the scholars say it's okay to reveal both. In Surah Adab, I think verse 33-59, the word jalabib, the root word is jalabab, and jalabab is a complete covering of something. There was I think Ibn Baz has a written commentary on it. It's a complete covering of something, therefore nothing else should be revealed. And the companions were instructed that if they wanted to ask the Prophet's wives for something, they should ask behind a hijab, behind a screen, so they couldn't see them. So yeah, I wanted us all to get like a general understanding of what the main differences are, and this is what I've gathered for you guys. See you all inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.